Well, to Tallahassee next here, where Florida lawmakers in the House are likely to approve a bill lowering the buying age of guns in Florida from 21 to 18.
And for another year, the idea faces an uncertain future across the hall in the Florida Senate. Our Capitol reporter Forrest Saunders joins us now live from the Capitol. And Forrest, it's almost certain it will pass the House floor tonight.
Yeah, talk to some of your Gen Z friends because they'll say this thing is cooked. It really is. I mean, we have a GOP supermajority in the House behind me. They have the numbers to get this thing done. The big question mark where things get a little foggy is what's going to happen over there in the Senate. After getting on a committees just a few days ago,
Show HB 759 report
to roll back the buy age of Florida firearms from 21 to 18 is set to get through the full House Wednesday evening. All month, its supporters telling us why they want it, saying they're returning constitutional rights to those deemed adults.
House Bill 759 seeks to rectify an inconsistency in our legal framework by ensuring that all adult citizens in Florida are afforded their full Second Amendment rights.
If we're going to expect them to defend us daily in a country that's foreign to us, that long gun or that AR, or even that pistol, just to make sure that you and I get to sit here and do this in a free world, why wouldn't we give them the opportunity to do it here in their own country?
If signed into law, the change takes effect July 1st of this year, though it would mostly affect sales of long guns due to federal restrictions on handguns. Democrats are vehemently opposed, in part due to safety concerns.
If you all just look at the statistics in my neighborhood, then you'll better understand why every single year I fight so hard for these kids not to have access to guns. They are children.
And also because the bill is a repeal of a reform post-Parkland shooting, which left 17 Floridians dead and 18 more injured.
This is the legislature breaking its promise to the families of Parkland. We know that that was an awful mass shooting that occurred in 2018. There were bipartisan compromises made to try to keep our community safer and to prevent another tragedy like this from ever happening again.
Democrats lack the numbers to stop the bill, and the governor likes it.
Have somebody that's a Marine, they can get dumped in someplace in the Middle East carrying a rifle around, defending the country, and then they come home and they can't even buy a rifle to go hunt. That just doesn't make sense. I mean, are you an adult or not?
So the big reason why it may not reach his desk lies in the Florida Senate. For another year, a different Senate president has reservations.
I'm working through that in my mind, right? Because the most important thing I want to do is to do what's right. And certainly the most important thing that I don't want to do is make a mistake. So I'm thinking through that.
All Britain is yet to say which way he's leaning, but the upper chamber's version of the bill has yet to move. A bad sign for supporters 4 weeks into session.
I'm a lifetime NRA member. Where it's legal, I carry.
In the past, he's told us he's listening to law enforcement when it comes to guns, which is why he's opposed to full open carry and the repeal of red flag laws.
The reason that law enforcement knows that this works, and I support law enforcement, I always have and I always will, is that the risk protection orders, there's a due process that you go through with it. And they've got to check several boxes, lots of boxes, before any action really can be taken.
Speaking of action, after Wednesday's vote, it will likely be his to take on repealing the gun buy age. And that vote just happened, 78 to 34. That's basically a party line vote over in the House, meaning this bill has passed the Florida House once again. Guys.
All right, Forrest, with that breaking news there from the Florida House. Meanwhile, there was a big decision today by the U.S. Supreme Court on ghost guns to regulate gun kits used to create those untraceable guns. The decision was bipartisan with a vote of 7-2.
Yeah, that's right. And basically what you're seeing here is that the state's highest court believes that these guns have to require background checks because they are, in essence, firearms once they're assembled, and that's their argument. The interesting thing is that this is something that Florida lawmakers have been trying for years to regulate here in Tallahassee because they recognize the danger of these potential weapons as well, but some of that legislation has yet to get across the finish line. So perhaps with this ruling from the nation's highest court, we might see some action on those pieces of legislation right here in the Sunshine State. Guys?
All right, Forrest Saunders, thank you from Tallahassee. Meanwhile,